I remember back in September getting the order of chapel speeches for this year. Looking at the list, reading name after name after name, until finally at the very bottom of the list, there was me, Abby Gaskin, in size 12 font. Hi, everyone. A few more names have been added since, but for a while, I was recorded as the last chapel speech of the year. The final Wednesday message, the concluding short service for all senior twos ever at Appleby College. Yes, sweet, no pressure, love it. So that was then, and this was me about 2 weeks ago, sitting in my desk chair, spinning around and around, fully aware that no meteorite had hit my city. I hadn't rescued a three-legged puppy from a dogfight, or gone on a service trip coming back a new woman. I felt like nothing had really changed my life dramatically, and I had no intense experience to share with you all today. But as I reflected, I realized that I have changed over the last few years. Well, my height hasn't, but I have as a person. Back in grade 9, my goals and aspirations in life weren't very focused. One day I'd be telling my parents, "Mom, I need to drop out of high school right now to pursue my career on Broadway." I actually did tell her this. And other days I'd be completely unaware of what I actually wanted to do at all. But I feel like this uncertainty wasn't because I didn't know what I liked doing. I'm pretty sure it was more because of the fact I would easily compare myself to other singers, dancers, artists who seemed better than me, causing me to lose hopes in my dreams of actually making a successful career in the art world. I figured, well, if there's only going to be one person on that stage over there, and this person right here is clearly better than me, I should just accept my fate and move on. And this is the problem. So many people just accept their fate or fall back onto a plan that seems near to impossible to fail at. And this fear holds so many people back from practicing a career or living a life filled with things they actually want to do. And the thought of that makes me really scared. Because just like the musician Tyler G. Okanema says, in the end, who's there? It's you. This message really hit home for me as I realized that I only have, and so do all of you, one shot in this life that you're living right now. And it's up to you to make what you want of yourself. If that's a doctor, amazing. A performer, you got this. Or an HR at a large firm, I know you can do it, but it's up to you to make that happen. And as soon as I got that message straight in my head, my perspective on the world completely changed. Because I realized, someone's got to do it, so why can't I? Why can't I be the next performer, the next SoundCloud rapper, the next singer? And it was at that moment that the internal role I was playing changed. I went from being my worst critic to my biggest fan because I realized I didn't have time not to be. This small shift in mindset allowed me to really open up and explore my abilities, especially in the art world. I learned how to be a risk taker. I was no longer afraid of making mistakes because there weren't any to make, only happy accidents, as Miss Hagee likes to say. But don't misinterpret my message. I am definitely not advising you all to go out and do the most dangerous things you can think of. I just want you to take a second and realize if fear is holding you back. Here, we'll do this as a group. Everyone close their eyes. Close your eyes, close your eyes. Okay. Now imagine, what would your job be in the future if whatever you did, it was absolutely 100% impossible to fail at? You could literally be doing anything as your career and you would be successful. Just take a second. Okay, you can open your eyes now. If what you just imagined doesn't align with your current goals, ask yourself why. I mean, I'm not saying you aren't gonna fail. You might fail 1,000 times for all I know, because making it happen will take work and dedication and willingness to take a hit, fall, but get right back up because everything happens for a reason, so you're already doing what you're supposed to be doing. But there are right paths, and there are wrong paths. Today, I'm going to read you one of my favorite poems that illustrates a particular path whose takers could be completely unaware of their location. This poem is called Masks by Shel Silverstein. She had blue skin, and so did he. He kept it hid, and so did she. They searched for blue their whole life through, then walked right by and never knew. Yes, this poem is more about the relationships we have with others, but I feel like it also perfectly embodies how we can misinterpret the relationship we have with ourselves on our own journey. Some people are unintentionally on a path of falsehood, pretending to be someone they're not to the point where they forget who they really are, and then they walk right by, not even recognizing their own reflection. And then one day, they're sitting alone on their bed, realizing they don't even know what makes them on the inside anymore. This is kind of how I felt a few months ago. And I'm not saying I was lost or forgot who I was. I guess I just lost sight of the big picture, my aspirations, my end goal, questioning why I needed to do the little things or even go to school anymore. I was really tired. But in attempts to overcome this, that's where I made the real mistake. I blamed the outside, the things around me and the people around me, rather than looking inwards at the real problem. What I needed to do was solidify or reevaluate my sense of purpose. So, instead of starting from scratch, I turned to something I already enjoyed doing, making art. I have never felt particularly attached to a certain way of making art. I really just like creating things. So spending hours on projects, pausing whatever was going on around me, and exploring what I could do at that moment right there, with no deadlines or expectations or really criteria, just making something because I wanted to, allowed my inner fire to be relit, almost jump-starting my self-image as it gave me lots of time to reflect in an almost meditative state. And I do believe that everyone has at least a little time in their life for their own art, because art is passion and art is people. Doing something they love for the sake of doing something they love. It doesn't have to be you sitting at a desk drawing a picture. Art just allows you to open your brain and recognize how you're feeling on the inside, or how you want to be feeling on the inside. But this takes courage and acceptance and the ability to recognize that everyone's way of coping with this world is a little bit different. But by eliminating the fear of judgment of others, the fear of failing, the fear of understanding that everyone's art looks a little bit different, that's when you'll stop spinning around and around in your desk chair, trying to define yourself with a bad event that occurred in your life. And you'll realize you're actually pretty great. But I don't want to stand up here and preach like the world is all peaches and cream, because 7 billion people experience this day in a different way. And I do know that everyone is going through their tough times, publicly or not. But I just want my speech to be a reminder that you're only in high school. But the amount of time you have to make a mark in this world is getting shorter and shorter each day. So why not go full out? Take your mask off. Find your sense of purpose. Stop hiding behind your fears. Really dig deep. Find your own art and dive into it. It'll change yourself, and you'll change the world. Please rise and sing hymn 656.